I'm your host, Marco Alvarado, and this is the first episode of Closing Out the Week, the new segment that we do every Thursday or Friday, just to help you guys get through the week, because I felt like it was quite a long break between episodes. So I decided to start this, and I hope you all like it. My first little guest is my dad, Ruben Alvarado. Hi, Pa. Hello. Or as I call him, Papa.
Hello.
My dad has been all across the country, but he was born and raised in the Bay Area, East Side San Jose. Top
of the food chain.
And he has a long and storied history in the music community of San Jose. When he was a young man, he was in various bands playing R&B and funk, stuff like that. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yes, R&B, funk, Santana, and Motown, stuff like that. Oh yeah,
that's cool. So this whole show, this little segment is just supposed to be a quick 20-minute, 30-minute thing. You tell the story, we could talk about whatever. You had a lot of interesting run-ins in your time as a young man, making music, playing music. Do you remember your first concert, the first show you ever played?
First show or first gig?
Is there a difference?
A show, to me, a show is like a show, a production, a thing you practice.
Oh, your first gig then?
First time playing in front of people?
Yeah.
Was probably in junior high. We had like this little band and friends of ours, a friend of mine. We had no bass player. We had a drummer and a bunch of guys playing homemade congas.
Uh-huh.
And they had a school dance, and one of the guys in the band talked one of the teachers into us playing for the school dance.
Oh, really?
We had nobody sang.
Oh, wow.
And then there was a kid there that was in a real band. The guy's been playing bass. He's been playing at weddings. I was like,
oh, wow.
I was like
at that young of an age?
Yeah, he was
wow.
He was a year younger than me, but he was been playing all on. He was like an idol of mine, and he was sitting there watching us. And we're just kind of playing just 2 or 3 chords over and over again, and guys banging away on their homemade congas, and people just staring at us. And it was pretty embarrassing. And we went. I don't know how long we played, but it seemed like forever. That was
what song did you play? Do you remember? What song?
Oh my God, what song? I forget. But it wasn't even a song, because you actually, it was just a couple of chords probably being played over and over again.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's singing, because everybody's too embarrassed to sing.
Yeah.
It was horrible. But it's, and then the guys just staring at us, kind of laughing, giggling. And it was.
Yeah.
Just, well,
how old were you? You said junior high?
I was in 7th grade.
Dang, so like 11?
I was 12, I think. 12 years old. 12 or 13, something. Whenever it was 7th grade. I don't know. Yeah, that was horrible.
So then what was your first show? Then an actual show?
When we played.
What was your band's name?
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to tell you the first name of the first name is it's embarrassing.
Come on. Come on.
All right, okay.
The first know.
Okay, the first band that I was in, the one that played at the Pala Junior High School dance.
Yeah. Oh, you played at a dance. Pala Junior High.
Yeah, it was. Okay. But this wasn't in the big hall. That was in the cafeteria. This was in just a regular room.
Yeah.
Classroom that they cleared out the.
Okay.
So this was in the main stage. This was
okay.
just.
This was a side stage.
Sides,
Okay.
It was an after-school dance,
That's
and
cool.
the name of the group was the infamous Midnight Brown, which is
the Midnight Brown.
Yeah, because of course, Why shouldn't there be a Midnight Brown?
Sure, yeah.
Right? I mean, have you been awake at midnight? You don't know what color it is.
What was the thought process for the band's name? Do you remember?
I didn't come up with that, Jim.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. That wasn't me. But we just none of us could think of anything better. We stuck with that one, and because it's probably the the 70s and the Chicano movement at the time, and
Okay,
and they'll put me down if I'm brown kind of thing, and,
Right.
and so it's midnight, and midnight is cool, and then if you're brown,
You're brown.
and you're brown. Midnight brown could mean a whole lot of things. It could be really disgusting too if you really think about it.
Okay, so how did that show go? Your first show? You practiced?
Okay, no, that was the one. That was one where we just went on there. Okay, we made fools of ourselves, and then there was a couple of times that we made fools of ourselves. Oh God, this show.
Because I remember like
we played.
It wasn't Taboo because
No,
for
that
everybody listening, Taboo is a very I guess very well known band. That my dad was in the Bay Area. They played a lot of that funk R&B stuff.
That was after high school.
High school, yeah.
But during high school, I played with a lot of different guys, and we did we played junior highs. We played junior high schools. And, I think we played at God. I think we did it. That was our thing. If we can do a junior high school dance, oh my God, it was probably like sophomore year,
right?
Sophomore year. I think we played at
high school.
At high school, we played a lot. We played at the fairgrounds, the county fair.
Yeah.
And
you remember that show or not really?
There's so many shows, though. I mean, there's so many gigs.
What was the
we
one
didn't call them shows because they were in the show. We weren't like doing choreography or anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's the term now. I know. A lot of people you call them shows.
You
now.
hipsters call them different. But
back then, I don't know. It's not like I make the conscious decision to call them shows over gigs. I just am like, I'm going to a show.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean,
a show seems like we're up there doing show tunes. And
well, no. I mean, obviously you guys didn't do that. But I mean, okay. What's the one gig that sticks out in your mind
from the early days? From the early days, I can't. God, I remember we played. Let me see.
See, this is how you know my dad's a real musician. He's played so many shows, he just doesn't even know.
And I wasn't even 14 yet.
That's crazy. Such a different time.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't happen anymore. Kids don't play.
Not really. I don't. All the guys that I've talked to or met and played music with have just been either really full of themselves or unaware or too unaware of themselves to really realize anything. So it's really, I don't know. Maybe that was the same back then. You just didn't care. But
okay, well, I think the one time we played, I think we did. As a matter of fact, that same band again did a house party.
Oh, wow.
Midnight Brown struck again, and we did a house party because this guy wanted to. Some friends of theirs had a house party, and we started playing, and we did the same. We made the same noise.
The same thing.
Yeah, at a house,
did the same thing.
Did the same thing, and then people were just staring at us. And this is before the DJ, so they were like, you had to play records and stuff. Once and then they eventually started playing records, and I left, and I got it. So that was that, and then that ended. I think then we started playing in a band. My sophomore year, I met some guys through. I went to another school. And
what school was that?
My friend Robert went to Mount Pleasant High School, which was a school down the road there. And we started playing a lot, and we started rehearsing with them. And we did with them. I think we did a junior high school dance.
Oh, nice.
We played at a bowling alley. Back when a bowling alley, you throw the ball in.
Back when that was a thing.
Yeah, well, we did bowling alley, and it was at the bar, and they let us all in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were playing, and there was all these 14 and 15-year-old kids playing at a bar.
That's funny.
And because every bowling alley had a bar next to it, and we'd go in there, and it was really nice. They had big stages and stuff, and you wouldn't think for a bowling alley, but they had.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we played there, and then we did. We sat in, did a couple of weddings. We didn't do the whole thing. We would just sit
at that age. That's crazy.
Yeah, we'd sit and did weddings.
How did you get those connections?
We at the school ones. They would ask some of the guys knew the teachers or whoever. They figure out who was coordinating it. And they would ask, and then they basically he would do it for free.
Did you ever do any of the coordinating or not really?
Not at my school. No, I didn't. Because my school they didn't.
It wasn't that way.
Yeah, I didn't have the connections.
Yeah,
they wouldn't. There was a lot of kids that played, so it was like, it was if I say you play in a band, it wasn't anything special. Because a lot of kids did.
Yeah.
And then we played at then we did weddings and but not like the full gig. We would just go up and sit in. One time we went at a quinceañera. We were just all there and we just asked them if we could play, and they said yes. The band let us go and we played a couple of songs.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was those were the days when we did that. We would travel by bus to a rehearsal sometimes. Pack all the equipment on a bus. On a city transit, and go to a gig.
Wow, no one ever gave you a hard time on the buses or anything?
The bus driver sometimes would and the people, but
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one time though, we go in there and we're taking all this stuff in, and the bus driver looks at us and he goes, "I'm glad one of y'all don't play piano." We were bringing in all this junk and all this homemade congas and yeah, it was, but that was how it was, it's how you do it. You don't see that anymore. But,
yeah, you really don't. It's hard now.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird now. Like looking back, thinking like, oh yeah, like just playing an instrument was just another thing you do, and now it's like people still do it, and there's still a large number of people and kids that do it, but not, I don't think as abundantly, or maybe people just aren't as open about it anymore. I don't know.
Kids were hungrier to play back then. It was always somebody
Why
playing.
do you think? Because there was less to do, maybe? Or...
yeah, well, back in there was just music. If you wanted to get in the music scene, you had to play an instrument. Now you want to get in the music scene, you just buy a laptop.
Yeah.
And you learn how to rap or whatever, and that's what everybody wants to do, and they just make a little beat and hit a button and off you go. And
yeah. It's just different.
It's just different, and it takes effort and time and a little sacrifice.
Yeah.
Not everybody was great musicians. Not everybody was good.
It was all about fun.
It was just all about fun.
Yeah.
And you'd go and you'd just jam with guys. There'd be jam sessions. There'd be parties where it'd just be jam sessions. You go there and you just play with a bunch of different guys.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. But I don't know if that even happens anymore.
Not that I've never been invited to a jam session.
Yeah, it would be.
I've never been.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Maybe I'm not good enough. I don't know.
No, I don't think there's any jam sessions out there.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I mean, so like, I'm trying to think. So after your early years and after high school, like, when did music really start like taking off for you? In like.
Well, music I've always was.
Well, it's always been around.
Always for me, it was the thing. It was.
Well, yeah, that's who you are. But like,
I mean, from when did it take off? I always wanted to be a rock star or whatever you want to call it.
But I mean, like, when did like the shows start getting bigger and people, instead of looking at you guys as like kids that just play, where it became like a thing where you're actually in a band and like people want you to play. Instead of you asking to.
I was after high school.
So when was that turning point? Do you remember?
Probably 1980. Well, I joined a band in my senior year, and that was Taboo, and it was these guys. All they wanted to play was Santana, and I knew the songs, but I said, yeah, I'll play. And I was just a rhythm guitarist guy and sing and background singer. So I started arranging all the harmonies. Nothing major. It was just basic harmonies and arranging stuff and just go doing things. And we did pretty good with that. And then as things go, people quit. And at this point, everybody quit except for me and the bass player.
Why? Do you remember why?
They just quit. They just kind of like the group started going in a direction they didn't want to go. They wanted to just keep doing Santana.
It wasn't. They didn't want it to be as serious or something. Or
no, they wanted to play Santana. It started to go more to dance music because that's where the money's at. That's where and they didn't want to do it. And then guys guys started getting that I can do better if I get on my own and do my own thing. So they, for whatever reason, people just quit. They just,
Yeah.
I showed up one day to the rehearsal place, and a lot of the equipment that we had bought they took it. Some guys took it and basically left us high and dry. Yeah, they left us high and dry, and then it was just me and the bass player guy sitting there. And yeah, he was kind of new. He was in the band for about 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
So I thought he would be ready to leave too, and I just looked at him. I said, what do you want to do? He said, well, he goes, I'm willing to stick it out if you are. Okay. And from that point, we started looking for guys and just kind of kicking and scratching, and started putting the pieces together. And that was in early 1980. By a year later, we were pretty sought after band. We were playing.
So you never give up, folks.
That's right. You got to keep on fighting. But we did this Battle of the Bands thing, and we didn't win it, but we did really, really well because we practiced and practiced. We would practice 5 nights a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we would practice. And we had a little set that we were going to do. And
what songs did you guys play?
Just R&B song. I can't remember the songs. We did some.
Any originals or?
No originals. They were all covers. But we practiced them. We had a whole medley of songs, and we did steps, and we did all this. Now we did. That was a show. We did the whole thing, and then and we were just an obscure band that it was a battle of bands. There's like 20 bands,
Yeah.
And they would just go up there and play, and we went up there with our little uniforms and our choreography and our little things. Everything was, and we just blew everybody away. And the harmonies, we just had all these harmony parts, and people were we didn't have no keyboards. We just all guitars. And,
oh, really?
And then we did, from that point on, we started playing at the bigger clubs, and started doing a lot more gigs, and started opening up for people. And
which bands or notable bands have you opened up for?
We opened up for War. We opened up for Tierra. We opened up for Malo.
Really? For the people that don't know, like, what songs has War put out?
War.
Well, I mean, we know. But
okay. All Day Music, The World Is Ghetto, Cisco Kid, Lowrider.
Lowrider. Oh my.
That one.
Yeah.
And All Day Music. What's the other one? The first one with Eric Burton. They did the. Spill the Wine.
Oh,
Spill the Wine, midnight. That one. And they did all that, and we played with them, and so we did a lot. It was the other ones I forget, but
how was playing with War? Because they're a pretty big band, pretty notable band. They're from the Bay, right?
No, they're from Los Angeles.
Oh,
they're from Los Angeles, and they were really, really nice guys. I didn't really see them too much. They were there. And we opened up for them in Stockton.
Oh, really?
But that was that was a later version, because the band from 1980 changed from 80 to 85, 86, 85.
Yeah.
It changed. We changed members. Some guys, a couple guys quit. Some guys came on.
Yeah.
So it would always be changing, and so then we did that. And we played for, but it was really good. It's just, they're like I said, they're stars, so you're basically a cover band, so you're looked at it a different way.
Yeah.
So, and we did write originals. We began writing songs and stuff, but that was kind of towards the end.
Yeah.
And towards the middle and the end, and at that time, it's not like now where you can just, like I say, pick up a laptop and a couple of mics and you can do stuff. Back then, if you wanted to do anything serious, you had to get in the studio, and studios were expensive.
Yeah. And,
it was just hard to do, and most bands didn't have the money to do that.
Yeah.
So we did some of that. We would take our money and we would invest it back for buying equipment or studio time. But studio time was so expensive, and then even if you did that, you did a demo, you could shop it, and if the record company wasn't buying it, you weren't gonna go nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a little success here and there, but if you're not on a big label, you might as well forget it.
Yeah, it's super different now.
Yeah.
I mean, because of all the experiences you've had in music and the music industry, like for anybody that's wanting to like get into that type of business or just wanting to start playing or something, like what's your biggest, do you have any advice you could give the people out there that are curious about like
playing
and like getting into bands and doing all that stuff, like actually performing? And
if performing, if anybody can perform.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can get out and do and play in front of anybody.
Yeah,
it's how you want to sound. How you want to. It's how much time you want to spend behind the scenes getting ready for that performance. That's the key.
Right.
If you're gonna just put just a little small amount of time into it just because you want to get out in front of somebody, then that's what it's gonna get. It's gonna sound like that. But when you spend time and you just work on the details and you polish that thing up, and it takes time, and you put the time in, it's gonna show. And you may not be the best musician, but if you put time in and you polish your act, it's gonna show.
You're saying being the most prepared musician is better than being the best musician.
Exactly.
Like the most talented.
Like the saying goes, how does it go? We never rise to our expectations. We fall to our training.
Right.
Right. So when you go, you think, oh, I'm going to do a show. I'm going to go, and people are going to scream, and I'm just going to just go in there, do whatever. I'm going to just play whatever. I'm not going to rehearse. I'm just going to, whatever happens, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And you get there, and it's not so awesome for whatever reason. It just doesn't work out, and then you fall to your level of your training. So if you put a little bit of time in, that's what it's going to sound like.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's going to be like,
I've been there.
and then you can go and you can really practice, and you can, and you may not be the greatest or whatever, but you got your thing down, and you go there and you just kill it. People are like amazed, because it's just preparation, like anything. If you do your preparation, the last part is performing it, doing it. That's the icing on the cake. And,
right.
And if you don't prepare well, your icing is just, you're putting icing on a turd. It's just I can say that, right?
Yeah,
okay.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay. And I'm not cussing, but people get grossed out, whatever. and so that's what it is. If you polish up your act, you're going to be doing very well. So.
That's good advice to end the week, to close out the week.
Yeah, yes, kiddies, you got to go out there and you got to practice. I don't care if it's music. I don't care if it's whatever it is. If you really want to be the best at what you want to be, it's practice. It's boring, repetitive practice. Repetition is the mother of not success, mother of skill. It's repetition.
I thought it was creation. It's not creation.
Repetition is a mother of skill.
Oh. Okay.
And that's all it is. It's just repeating the same boring stuff. That's why not everybody's the greatest. It's the people that can push through that and just keep playing the same stuff and this until they own it are the people that are going to do good.
I feel like at a certain point, like people, or like when you're constantly repeating something or doing something over and over again, your mind, you're able to start doing it without even really thinking about it. Like, and then once you get to that point, then you're on your way. Whereas if you're constantly like focusing on like, oh my God, I have to put my fingers on these frets and then I have to move. But if you're just like, once you get to the point where it just happens.
Yeah, because you consumed it. It's like, there's another saying that I forgot it, but you just have to. It was you have to just keep practicing. You got to keep until it's burned in. Oh yeah, here's the saying.
Oh,
it's like a good player will practice till he doesn't mess up. Right?
Yeah.
Till he doesn't screw up.
Yeah.
A great player.
Yeah.
Will play we'll play not how does it go? A good player will play to not to screw up.
Yeah.
And a great player will play where he can't screw up. He practices so much that he can't. There's just no way. It's so much in him. Just like you speaking, you walking, you're going to do it because you've done it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about, I got to take this step. I got to lift this knee up. I got to move this leg out. It just happens. It just happens. And
yeah.
So that's what it is. It's like anything with music or instrument, bands, whatever it is you want to do. It's just takes time and it's boring and maybe that's why people aren't doing it now, because it's so much easier to buy a computer program and have it do everything for you, and then you can just kind of act like you did everything, and it sounds great, and there's really nothing that you did to really
make it happen.
Yeah.
It does take some programming, but I understand what you mean.
I mean, I don't want to put anybody down, but that's just how I see it. It's just...
It's different.
It's different. It's a different time.
It's not as cerebral as like a physical analog instrument.
And that's not even cerebral. It's just playing. It's just.
But it is cerebral. The practicing and the getting good at the craft is cerebral. Whereas if you buy a plug-in that can just create an EDM type sound or has drums in it, you don't have to learn how to play drums. You can just program the drums. Yeah. Not as cerebral. There's not a repetition involved at all. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I think that's all the time we got for this first episode of closing out the week with the closers. You are officially closer, Papa. How does it feel?
Closer. I'll always be closing.
Thank you for coming on and sharing some stories. You'll definitely be on again. For everybody out there, be sure to follow our Instagram at The Closers Podcast and our Facebook page at Closers Podcast. And we will be back next Monday. I will be interviewing my cousin Mariah and her boyfriend Jason. And we're going to be talking about my cousin's journey from dancing at the age of 3 to now she's an NFL cheerleader. Very proud of her. And I cannot wait to share her story of endurance and commitment to excellence. So with that, is there anything else you want to say, Pa?
No, I just thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm really honored to be here. And I'd also say that I'd like to say that I've been a Warrior fan for as long as I could remember, and I don't appreciate you bad-mouthing me about my allegiance to my team. And we will be back next year to take on the championship again. So, again, thank you for having me, and I hope to come on again.
Yeah, you'll be on again, and we'll talk about how much of a Warrior fan you are. I hope you all had a fantastic 4th of July. Take care.